So, Indraprastha is basically the city of the Pandavas.
Okay. But what is the history of the name Delhi? Like, how do we trace Delhi?
One excavation here to prove that okay, the Ramayana happened here and Ram was born. These are at the end of the day epics,
True.
and it is hard to say whether they actually happened at all.
Hello, you're watching the Indian Express. I'm Abir Lahiri. With me in conversation is Adrija Roy Chaudhary. And today we'll be talking about Indraprastha. This podcast is fast and curious. And let's begin. What exactly is the history of Indraprastha? Because बहुत सारा conversation just goes around this.
So, Indraprastha is basically the city of the Pandavas.
Okay.
In essence, the name Indraprastha is mentioned in the Mahabharata epic. Wahi se we know of the name of the city.
Right.
In terms of what Indraprastha is, as per the Mahabharata, after the battle of Kuru, we know that the Kauravas rule over Hastinapur,
Good.
and the land that was given to the Pandavas, they settled it and named it as Indraprastha.
Okay.
Now, it is said, and for a long time, people have speculated about it, but it is said that the city that was named as Indraprastha is located perhaps somewhere in Delhi.
Okay.
In what we know as modern day Delhi.
Okay.
Particularly the area that is the Purana Qila, in that area.
The south side.
Central
south.
Around the Delhi Zoo and the Humayun.
What a beautiful place
that
to have
area,
a capital. Yeah.
That is perhaps the capital of the Pandavas.
Okay.
Now, of course, we don't know because this is at the end of the day, this is mythology. But yes, there is speculation that this was the place where the Pandavas ruled and named it as Indraprastha, which we today know as, which got later expanded and got named as Delhi.
Delhi. But what is the history of the name Delhi? Like, how do we trace Delhi?
Now, it's very interesting that there are a lot of historians have again speculated about it.
Okay.
There is no clear evidence as to how we get the name Delhi.
Okay.
Typically, there is this idea that a Mauryan king named Dhilu, he had established this city way back in 50 BCE.
Oh.
No, sorry, 50 AD.
Okay.
Okay. So,
close to 2000 years.
And that is how the name came to be.
So it was Delhi and...
He named it on himself. So
Okay.
the king established the city and named it Delhi on his own name.
Okay.
But then again, this is again speculative.
Okay.
We don't have any clear evidence to say how exactly the name came about. There is also this thing of an iron pillar inside the Qutub complex,
Yes.
which again, is related to the name Delhi.
Okay.
Again, these are, various kinds of analysis that have been drawn, but then we don't have any clear evidence as to how we got the name Delhi.
Okay. When we were talking about and discussing about Indraprastha, so I have also read about this, and I have recently read your article also on the Indian Express, where you've mentioned about excavations.
Yes.
What are these excavations? And these are not one or two excavations, there have been multiple excavations. Did it bring out something? Firstly, what are these excavations?
So, let me just clarify this, that this article which we recently published was in context of the Chandni Chowk MP, Praveen Khandelwal. He has requested that the name of Delhi be changed to Indraprastha.
Okay.
Now, this is of course happening in context to a long history of trying to find whether we can find material proof of Delhi being the city that the Pandavas has built.
Okay.
And this search for Indraprastha that has been going on since the 1950s.
Okay.
Soon after independence. So at present, I think the Purana Qila complex, it would be that one monument in Delhi which has been excavated the maximum number of times.
That is Purana Qila.
Yeah, the area around Purana Qila, of course. that it happens to be the most excavated region in Delhi. It has gone through some 7 rounds of excavations since 1950s, just to prove whether we can find the Indraprastha underneath Purana Qila.
Okay.
So it begins from 1954. That is the first time we have excavations over here, and it is conducted by somebody called B.B. Lal. He's fairly well known for being the person behind the Ayodhya excavations as well.
Okay.
So B.B. Lal, he in the 1950s was very much interested in finding archaeological evidence for the Indian epics.
Okay.
So he started with the Ramayana sites,
Okay.
and then the Mahabharata sites as well. And there's a book that he writes, which I had used for writing my article as well, in which he says that one of the best things to happen is that the sites that are named in the Mahabharata, the modern day places are still carry those same names, like Hastinapur, Kurukshetra. We have these same names. And he starts associating that, okay, if these are the names we still have, then there must be archaeological proof as well for saying that the Mahabharata happened over here. And he goes on this, he carries out this project of excavating sites that are named in the epics. So if you have Ayodhya mentioned in the epics, you will do an excavation here to prove that, okay, the Ramayana happened here and Ram was born here. If you have Hastinapur mentioned in the epics, he would dig here to find if there is any kind of material evidence to say that the Mahabharata happened over here. Now, the disclaimer over here is that these are, at the end of the day, epics.
True.
And it is hard to say whether they actually happened at all. However, there has been a consistent effort by archaeologists like B.B. Lal to find whether there is archaeological proof to say that this happened.
Okay.
Now, when he started in 1954, he found something called painted grayware.
Okay.
It's a term that archaeologists use for a certain kind of pottery.
Okay.
All right. So now this particular kind of pottery which has certain patterns and geometrical patterns, and they can be, like these open vessels,
cauldrons,
anything, but it has a specific look to it, a specific kind of, it has a certain kind of color, it has a certain kind of appearance.
Which is not related to today's world.
Yeah. And it's very specifically a certain, a particular kind of pottery which archaeologists trace to around 1000 to 1200 BC. Now, in archaeology, typically, when you find artifacts of a similar kind, and they are dated, to a specific period of time. The archaeologists would make guesses that, okay, if we can find the same kind of artifacts across certain places, then all of these places must be belonging to this time period.
Okay.
So if you have painted grayware, or what we call PGW, we find them in multiple spots, and they will say, okay, all of these places are
connected
and were probably people were living here in 1000 BC. Because you find painted grayware, and painted grayware can be dated
and painted grayware. All of these should belong to a particular category, and then only they'll be classified that this belongs to this era.
So when B.B. Lal started excavating Purana Qila to find Indraprastha over here, the whole objective was कि अगर यहाँ पे भी painted grayware मिलता है, it means that this is a Mahabharata site, because जितने भी whichever other Mahabharata site he excavated, there he found painted grayware. So that was the link, and the only link possibly. Now, when he first excavated in 1954, he found some bits and pieces of painted grayware. But they were not stratified. Again, this is a very much an archaeological term. What this means is that it was found scattered across. जब आप excavate कर रहे हो, तो वो कोई एक particular layer से नहीं मिला था. Layers of human habitation होते हैं. तो एक particular layer में अगर मिलता है, that means that this site belonged to this era.
Okay.
But it was not found in one particular layer. It was found scattered across in bits and pieces.
Okay.
So when that happened, he felt that we need to excavate further. There was clearly some amount of painted grayware over here, which according to him means that there, if you dig further, you will find more.
Okay.
So we need to prove this. So he carried out 2 other rounds of excavation, one in 69, the other in 71.
Okay.
That time, nothing was found.
Okay.
No painted grayware was found. There were, of course, there was archaeological evidence for, say, going down till the Mauryan period. But then, no painted grayware, जो 1000 BC तक का जो link है, that was not found. That stopped after that. After 72, that excavations by Bibilal had stopped. Now, 40 years later, the ASI, the Archaeological Survey of India, they thought of starting another excavation. This is in 2013 that they thought of re-excavating the Purana Qila area. The archaeologist responsible for it was Vasant Swarnakar, whom I had interviewed as well. And he was the one from 2013 till last year. He carried out close to 5 rounds of excavation.
Okay. Of the same site.
Of the same site. And with the intent and the purpose being to find whether there is painted grayware over here, whether we can say that there was human habitation in this region in as far as 1000 BC as in the past, and whether we can prove that this is a Mahabharata site. This is, in his words, I'm telling you, this was the whole purpose of doing that many excavations. Ab 2014 mein, when they when they were about to sort of wrap up the excavations, they had almost given up because they had not found painted grayware over here. And just in that last bit, जब वो wrap up करने जा रहे थे, one of the archaeologists who was involved in the process, she told me that they suddenly chanced upon a little bit of painted grayware pottery sherds. Okay. And she tells me this, that it was like finding gold. Ki humne, for that many, an entire year almost, that many months they had been digging, and it's only at the end when they were just about to wrap up that they found these pottery sherds.
Okay.
So once they found, they were clearly very excited. So the next round of excavations was done specifically to prove that there is, there is painted grayware over here. That happens again in 2017, and that establishes that the earliest layer of human habitation over here, that they find painted grayware pottery, and hence are able to establish that the earliest layer of human habitation is as far as 1000 to 1200 BCE.
Okay.
In order to prove or confirm their findings, they do 2 more rounds of excavations, one in 2022 and another last year. That was the last.
Okay.
So now they have proven that there is painted grayware over here, and as per the archaeologists, since we have found this is now a Mahabharata site.
Okay.
And interestingly, the authorities around the Purana Qila are very much excited about it and doing a lot to also build a narrative that this is Mahabharata site.
Okay.
So last year, for instance, the Sabhyata Foundation, who are basically the people who have adopted the Purana Qila and take care of it, they hosted an event over here which depicted the Mahabharata. It was a full performance. And when I had met the PR person from Sabhyata Foundation, he had told me that they are planning multiple events, a museum, and several other activities that can depict the correct history of Purana Qila.
Okay.
Just to remind the audience, Purana Qila is a 16th century fort built in parts by the Mughal Emperor Humayun and the Afghan Sher Shah Suri. And what the Sabhyata Foundation had explained to me was that we need to now establish the correct history of the Purana Qila.
Okay.
We have all these years been associating Purana Qila only with Humayun, but there is a much longer history, much that goes far back to the Pandavas, to the Mahabharata. So we need to establish that. And now, if we put that in context to the current MP's, request to rename the place to Indraprastha, it falls into place with this long,
Okay.
search for Indraprastha.
Indraprastha. So the entire Delhi will be considered as Indraprastha.
That is what the authorities are trying to establish over
Okay.
here. At the same time, I also want to point out that in my conversations with historians as well as archaeologists from the ASI, interestingly, they don't agree with much of this analysis.
Okay.
Okay, so for instance, I had interviewed Professor Upinder Singh, she's an authority on ancient Indian history, and she explained to me this, that there is the only basis of connecting these sites is, and saying that this is a Mahabharata site, is the painted grayware. But the painted grayware pottery sherds that has been found in many places that is not related to Mahabharata as well. So, for instance, let me just list out some of the places that she mentions. Painted grayware has been reported from places such as Salimgarh, Majnu Ka Tila, Bhorgarh, Mandoli, uh, the column near Badli Ki Sarai,
Okay.
Jhansa. These are all areas around Delhi. Okay? And they are not connected with Mahabharata. But you have found painted grayware over here,
Okay.
which basically what she says is what the evidence of painted grayware means is that people have been living here since 1000 BC,
BC.
to 1200 BC. It may not mean that this is a
Mahabharata
Mahabharata
site.
Now, the current ASI Director General Y.S. Rawat, when I interviewed him as well, I was quite, intrigued to do that interview, because he also told me that he says that we can't say that this is a Mahabharata site because we don't even know if Mahabharata actually happened. So these are very conflicting views.
Because if you view it from a science or like a more logical lens, so there is no proof to it what he is saying.
Absolutely. Huh.
But there is also an emotional angle to it, and you can't deny that.
Yeah. So now, see, it is possible that the Mahabharata happened. It is possible that it was a family fort that was, when you write, when you write a story, you often exaggerate. So in case of the Mahabharata as well, it's possible that it was a small family fort that was then written
Into a bigger way.
in a bigger way while writing an epic. It is also to be remembered that the dates of the Mahabharata themselves are very much contested.
True.
There are some historians who would say that it is as late as 1000 BC. Then there are others who would give a different date. There is also this aspect of the Mahabharata being written by multiple people.
True.
So we have to keep in mind all of this about how an epic is written, how long it takes, whether there is a mythological element to it, whether it was completely factual or not. It remains contested.
A lot of layers.
There are a lot of layers to it. But yes, the Mahabharata at the same time is incredibly emotional, very, very, a very deeply emotive affair to Indians. So quite naturally, when you mentioned that a place in the national capital is also the city of Indraprastha that the Pandavas had found, there is definitely going to be an appeal among the general people.
Okay. Makes sense. On that note, I guess we can wrap this episode.
Yes.
What do you think about this? Just comment down below. We'll be happy to read your comments. And thank you for watching this episode of Past and Curious. This was Indian Express. I'm Abir Lairi. This is Adrija Roy Chaudhary. Thank you.
Thank you.